Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to a report from the Liberty Times, Iran has officially confirmed the signing of an electronic agreement with the United States to bring an end to the Middle East war. Referred to by Iran as the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding, the remote signing was finalized electronically by the presidents of both nations. A formal signing ceremony is scheduled to take place at a luxury hotel near Lake Lucerne in Switzerland, with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf in attendance. The agreement outlines a critical 60-day toll-free passage period for vessels transiting the vital Strait of Hormuz. Following this transition window, Iran intends to impose service fees on passing ships. Ghalibaf, acting as Iran's chief negotiator, reiterated that the Strait of Hormuz will not return to its pre-war status, emphasizing that Iran maintains sovereignty over the strategic waterway and will rightfully collect service charges. The two sides are set to engage in detailed bilateral negotiations over the next 2 months to address the resumption of maritime transit and other practical matters. According to a report by Asahi Shimbun, the New York Times revealed that the U.S. military has compiled an investigation into the suspected accidental bombing of a school in southern Iran, but has chosen not to release the results. The airstrike, which occurred on February 28th, during the initiation of preemptive strikes by the U.S. and Israel against Iran, resulted in the deaths of 175 children and school staff. The military's investigation reportedly found that the targeting for the Tomahawk cruise missiles relied on satellite imagery that had not been updated for 7 years. Consequently, the school, which was built adjacent to a military base on what was formerly military ground, did not appear in the targeting data. Although an analyst had noticed the school's existence and informed another staff member, the system was never updated. Critics have pointed out the Pentagon's self-defensive stance in withholding the report, which was submitted to Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. According to a report by Thai Sounds, international oil prices declined following the landmark signing of an end-of-war Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) between the United States and Iran. The agreement includes a 60-day negotiation period during which vessels will be allowed to pass through the strategic Strait of Hormuz toll-free, with plans to restore the shipping lane to full capacity within 30 days. This has paved the way for Tehran to freely trade its oil. Consequently, Brent crude and West Texas Intermediate futures both dropped by over 1% in early trading. However, the International Energy Agency, IEA, has issued a warning. In its latest monthly market report, the IEA cautioned that if the peace agreement is successfully implemented, the influx of Middle Eastern crude could shift the current energy crisis into a severe supply glut. The agency estimates that global oil supply could exceed demand by 5.05 million barrels per day by next year. Meanwhile, market analysts note that while lower oil prices may ease inflation concerns, geopolitical risks and low strategic reserves remain key issues as the Federal Reserve evaluates interest rate policy. Vanuatu's Naupa has been appointed as the new Director General of the Melanesian Spearhead Group, MSG Secretariat, making her the first woman to lead the sub-regional bloc since its establishment in 1986. According to a report by RNZ, the Vanuatu government has hailed this appointment as a historic milestone, bringing an end to the nation's 40-year wait to lead the organization. The Airstrike consists of Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, and the Kanak Socialist National Liberation Front, FLN Uzayas Avaidi. On-tried minister and the anus ac ospiu dubase. Bredio wendawali. Now the cause, oregat nesh to me the bread. Base the bread. Cuts. According to a report by Asahi Shimbun, the United Nations announced on June 17 that grave violations of children's rights in armed conflicts reached a record high of 38,558 cases in 2025. Strikingly, the report highlighted that the proportion of abuses committed by government forces exceeded those by non-state armed groups for the first time. A UN official warned that this trend reflects a growing disregard for international law and a rise in impunity worldwide, as government entities are traditionally expected to operate under the rule of law. The highest number of violations was recorded in the Palestinian territories, with 12,436 cases. The Israeli military, designated as a violating party since the previous year's report, was linked to 9,465 cases in 2025. Infractions included causing child casualties through the use of explosives in populated areas, using children as human shields, and attacking schools and hospitals. Other state forces identified as violators include Russia, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Myanmar, and Somalia. The UN defines grave violations under 6 categories, including killing and maiming, abduction, sexual violence, denial of humanitarian access, attacks on schools and hospitals, and recruitment of child soldiers. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.